Hello and welcome to Hobby Vlog number 201. Now this week has been a lot about doing things that aren't only up on this vlog but have already been on the channel, like 2 playthroughs of the Night Cage and a lot of editing as well, as I'm trying to get a lot of my backlog sorted out. So there's been a lot of hobby time, but not quite so much actually has been captured for the channel. However, there is some stuff. I have started finding the TCU challenge for this month with 3 weeks to go, or just under, so I need to crack on with that. Yeah, it has been a good week all in all. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I say this in every video, but please do leave a comment. I do love them and they really do inspire me, so do say hello. And thank you very much. I'll see you again at the end. What are you doing, Rosie Roo?
I'm making a bracelet.
You're making a bracelet? And who are you making that for?
My teachers!
That's lovely. Did you give them necklaces today?
Yes.
That's very cool. You're very good at making those, aren't you, darling?
Just a little bit slippery.
It is a bit fiddly. I know that because I tried to help you this morning, didn't I?
Ta-da!
Ta-da! You made me one, didn't you? A necklace and a bracelet, and they're lovely. And you made one for Mummy, didn't you?
Yeah, and myself.
And yourself. Very good. Right, keep going. Keep going. Wow. That was a brutal game with huge swings, but literally I just managed to squeak it out and get myself a win, but just. But I do want to make it clear that Steve did 3 turns from the end attempt to throw in the towel, and I told him not to. So it could have been a complete capitulation, but no, it was close. I was on. So the rules of this game mean that you get 2. If you lose 3 morale as an elite unit, which most of mine are, then you rout. And I had 3 of my battalions on 2.
Yeah.
And the turn after, I think you got rid of 2 of them, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it was very, very tight, and I just managed to get my positioning and my manoeuvring correctly, and I was able to get rid of the last cavalry from over here, and that was what won it. But goodness me, there were some swingy moments, weren't there, Steve? It was tight. There was times when I thought you were going to smash me, and then it looked like I was completely overrunning you, and then it came back to like literally, if I'd have not got rid of those, you'd have won, I think.
Yeah, if I'd got that chance to get another crack at you.
Yeah. You notice that I did very cleverly prevent my cavalry from running down this killing zone. Again, very cleverly didn't run across in front of these guys. But good game. I mean, it took a while to get to actually reach combat, didn't it?
Yeah.
But that's also good. There was a lot of manoeuvring. There was a lot of me failing completely to manage to get across these bridges.
Yes, you did make hard work of it, didn't you?
But then your guys in the centre were just like, nope, not moving for ages.
No.
But I did manage to kill 1 unit of French, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, good game. Really enjoyed it. Cheers for that, Mum. We're going to have a bit of a rest and then play some Cowboys versus Cowboys.
You did kill your commander-in-chief.
You did kill my commander-in-chief, yes, yeah. Yeah, my left flank basically collapsed, which is why over here there's lots of cavalry running over getting them killed. Because I had no left flank, no right flank anymore. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for the game, man.
Oh.
Good to play on the terrain.
Sit down,
yeah.
A bit now.
Yeah, a couple of hours of rest to get the energy back in the legs, and then we can play again. Nice one. Well, good game. The rules we were playing is called Twilight of the Soldier Kings, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is quite good. It was quite a efficient game where you literally, combat is basically courage tests, morale tests.
There's no casualties, just
no.
morale failure.
Yeah, and elite get 3 and non-elite get 2, and
once you get there's fairly few additions and subtractions, so once you've got them in your head,
yeah,
you can go through pretty quick.
Yeah, so you've got things like flank attack or attack from the rear or whatever, and you've got supporting. So if you've got 2 lines within half a base, then the back line gives support to the front line, which means you get a +1. So those sorts of kind of adjustments are quite simple. But yeah, it's quite an efficient little game. There wasn't much sitting around. There was a lot of manoeuvring up, but there wasn't much waiting, sitting around and working things out. Like I say, it wasn't like a game for mathematicians. It was a game for let's just come to blows and then start like destroying each other's armies, which is pretty much what happened. I want to call my MVP. My MVP was this cannon here. I think if that cannon had not managed to kill that unit, I think this would have been very different. So this cannon managed to basically pin down one of Steve's central units for like 4 or 5 turns, and then eventually shot it off the table. So I think my MVP are these boys here. Who do you think your MVP is?
I don't know, really. I was useless. My artillery was totally useless.
Your MVP were these bridges, yeah?
What the Grenadiers did there. They were
that's my light.
Destroying your Grenadiers and your Dragoons.
Yep.
I think I'd have to put them up there.
Nice one. Well, let's wrap this up, and yeah, we'll get another game in a bit. We'll film that fully, and that won't be in the vlog. We're going to try to get fully filmed of the next game, so you'll have to watch out for that coming in another video. So I've been umming a bit, and I've been busy. But what I've decided to do is I need to make some more trees. I'm not happy with how few trees there are on this. And I looked in my stash and thought, oh no, I've not got any more coconut coir. But then I remembered, yes I do. I've got a huge roll of it. So I do have a video of how I make these trees, which I will link to here and is in the links list of all of my videos, I'm pretty sure. But I will also film a little bit of this just as part of this build, because that's a little bit interesting. But anyway, I'm going to make probably 10, 12, maybe 15 more, because I really want to bulk this forest out up here, put some more over there and some more over there, and then eventually I want to have a couple down here as well. And I'm going to make use of them for other things also, so yeah, I may as well make a batch. So that's going to be done, and I'm not going to do any undergrowth until I've finished doing the forest, so I'll get that done, and then yeah, let's start making some trees. Well, this evening I was feeling very unmotivated, and then I've had a really interesting last hour or so, just doing a load more work on the AV10. As you can see, I've got my awesome Ebma Hobby stand, which is the same people that do my thing that I put my glue in. Really like their stuff. Not sponsored by them by any means, bought all this myself, but if you are looking for something like this, can't recommend it highly enough. So yeah, so I've got the wheels on the bottom, I've put a load of more details on, I've stuck the propellers on and put some of the outboard pylons on as well. So yeah, I'm getting there. I've only got a couple more pages, a few more pages to go, and then I'll be able to start painting it, and then I'll look at doing the next thing for this project. Really pleased that I snapped myself out of my slight funk. I had a busy day today, and I just sat down and I just couldn't get going, and then suddenly I did. Anyway, it's bedtime now. I'm very pleased as well. I did actually tidy my desk. It's no longer a stinking mess. It's a real pleasure to have been working at this desk this evening, watching some YouTube, and not feeling like I'm living in squalor, because I just hate that so much. I'm going to make a start on this now, which I'm quite excited about. So this is part 11, and I believe that is the outside and that is the inside. And this is part 1, so there we are. And what it says to do is identify both the main walls, 1 and 11, which is what I've done. Cement all the windows 2 to 21 into position as shown, noting that the window sills face the outside. Cement doors 15 and 19, which go here and here, into place in a closed position. Doors 6 and 7 can be, which is here, can be cemented in either an open or a closed position. Finally, cement a half door or leave it entirely if you want to. And then basically do the end walls. So you're going to do the door on that one and the window on that one, and that is stage 1. There's only 4 stages to this, so that will get me quite a long way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm watching Dubai Trains at the moment. Fantastic channel if you haven't watched it yet and you're into model layout design. I'm learning a lot before I design my new one. So I'm going to turn the camera off because I am going to have that running, and I'll come back at the end of the evening and show you how this looks. And if I have any trouble or anything I want to particularly highlight, I'll turn the camera on again as well. Well, I finished step 1. which is gluing all the windows and doors in, and that was pretty easy. What I'm about to do now is start to stick these sections together. So as you can see, we have a 90-degree corner that needs to be glued, and that's not going to be all that hard because it fits together very well. And I must admit, so far I am pretty impressed with this kit. Just want to see it from the outside as well. So you might just do it like this. Yeah, pretty impressed with this kit, to be honest. Right, with that check, I'm actually going to put a little bit more glue on just down this middle. And when that dries, I will then probably, what I'm probably going to do is glue the two corners together and then glue the outside together, and then that's going to be as far as I take it in terms of assembling. I'll put the roof together with the chimneys, and then I'm going to go to paint it. So that's been done. I'll give that a minute or two or a couple more seconds just to kind of settle down before I try and move it. There we are. I do love using this glue. And then this one is going to go on that end, and then the whole thing will glue together very nicely. So yeah, pretty impressed. These Dapol kits seem to be very nicely designed, very easy assembly, as you can see just how easy that kind of just slotted together. When that is all done, what I'll do is I'll stick the whole four sides together, and then I'm going to jump onto steps 3 and 4, which is doing the chimneys and the roof, and then I will bring you along for the painting and then the final assembly will be done after I've painted it. And I think I might even leave the roof off, so that in the future I can potentially put some lights in if I want to. The only thing to say on this is there is some flash. You can just see on that corner there, hopefully there is some flash on that, which I'm having to clean up, but it's not a horrendous flash and it's not taking too much time. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, finish getting these two parts glued together, do the chimney, and then I'll bring you back when I'm probably going to finish assembling this all in one evening, to be honest. Well, would you look at that? I've got that all assembled. So I've just finished putting the downspouts on, and the drain pipes, and yeah, I'm going to leave it at this stage and I'm going to paint it now. I have decided to leave the half door off. That's the last thing here for now anyway. I don't really want it on there. So yeah, so I'm going to leave that to dry overnight. I'm going to prime that up with my grey primer and then paint it. And the reason why I'm leaving the inside open is because I do want to put a little bit of detail inside this. So I'm probably going to put some walls across and paint that. So I'll bring you along when I come to do that, but I'm going to paint the outside of this, primer paint the outside of this, and fill in the inside. The roof, I wasted quite a lot of time because I thought I'd lost part of it, but it actually managed to stick to my snips. So I picked the snips up going, oh well, never mind, I'll just clip a little bit of the sprue off and stick it in, and then the piece I thought I'd lost suddenly appeared. So it went together really well, really impressed. As I say, gonna let that dry. I will probably do the interior and then paint everything together, but I'm not sure. I might measure very carefully and build the interior on a base of cardboard so I can then slot this down over the top. So that's another thought I've got, so I'll think about that over the evening. Enough rambling. Very pleased, very happy. I'm not sure whether Rosie will want this one or the other building, as I say, but at least I've assembled it, and yeah, absolutely impressed with Dapol. I'm going to buy some more of their stuff. Well, I've just spent a very enjoyable evening putting together all these, all the munitions for the OV10. Apart from this one, and I'm just not making those, that one has not worked at all. Very fiddly and very annoying. But I don't need all of these, but I thought I'd put them all together anyway. And what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will put them onto the plane, and then I believe it's actually done and I'll be able to start painting. I do need to put the cockpit back on. I haven't done that yet because I'm still deciding whether I'm going to readjust the front, as I said in the previous clip. But yeah, everything's done. This here is actually a fuel tank, but everything else is weaponry. So yeah, I'll decide how to actually arm it. The instructions do come with the suggestions, so I pretty much know what I'm going to do. But I figured that I get all these other ones, have everything up and painted, and then they can maybe go on the diorama when it occurs. So yeah, really close to finishing this, and then I can start the other model that's in this double header box. But yeah, I'll probably get these glued on and then go to the painting stage and start assembling while I'm painting this. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun this evening, watched some fun videos and just chilled out and glued together. It's been a good time. I've got this all primed, so what I'm going to do now is going to take the roof and the building downstairs, I'm going to paint it, and then I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do on the inside. I do think I'm going to do an interior, but I haven't decided on that yet. So I'm just going to paint the exterior. I won't film that, so it's going to be pretty basic stuff. But I'll bring this back upstairs and show you what it looks like when it's done. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Like I said, really impressed with this kit, and it primed up really nicely, even though I do use a brush. It's primed up nice and smooth. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. Can take it down to the painting bench, and I'll show you what it looks like when it is done. I've really let this one get away from me. I've got about 3 weeks left until this challenge is required to be entered, and the odd thing is I had the idea straight away. I've just not started it. There's other things that have taken over, but I'm going to get stuck into it now. So the theme is explorers, and I immediately had the idea of making a model of the high hay. Now the high hay is a hedge that runs around the length of the eastern border of Buckland on the edge of the Shire in Lord of the Rings. In Middle Earth, and it is, and if you read the books, it is where Frodo and company, they leave the Shire via the gate, and you can see here is a picture, which is what gave me the idea. This is from the One Ring, which is wonderful books, really lovely, great game as well. Really enjoying playing it at the moment. But yeah, this is the drawing which I thought of, and I'm going to create. Basically, it's going to be a hedge that can be used pretty much in any game, but it will have a couple of sections. There are 3 gates through the high hay, so I'm going to make 3 gates, and that is where adventurers and explorers from the Shire go through into the old wood. So yeah, that is my idea. It goes into the forest. So. Yeah, so I've got some white foam. My idea is to make use of thick white foam because it's going to be about the right height. So I've got whole chunks of it here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work out, I've not yet decided if I'm going to base it or not, whether I'm just going to have it as standalone or whether I'm going to put a base on it, but it doesn't really matter at the first stage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start to lay out some areas. This would be a really good kind of like curved section of hedge, as you can see, but it's going to want to have like straight edges, and the edges are going to want to be the same width so that it can all butt up against each other. So I'm going to make a little bit of a plan, get my pen out, start drawing on these sections, and then I'll probably make use of my hot wire cutter and my Proxon to carve these out, and yeah, then we'll see what they look like. I've got a good idea of how I'm going to make them look like hedges. I've got not such a good idea at the moment of how I'm going to do this, so how I'm going to actually do the gates, but you know, I'll come to that. Anyway, let's get some drawing done. I'll bring you back when I've done my sketching and show you what it's going to look like roughly before I do the cutting. Well, these are the shapes I've drawn. So what I'm now going to do is take these over to the Proxon and cut them out, and hopefully they're going to it's going to look okay. I'm almost certainly going to need to put a base on this. The more I think about it, the more I realise that having just the white foam exposed is not going to be good. So I'll get these done, and then I'm going to have a look at maybe getting some thin plywood and making some bases of that and sticking them down onto that, just to make it a little bit more hard wearing. But I don't need that for this, so I know it's late at night now. I don't want to do any cutting of wood, so I can do that tomorrow. But yeah, let's get over to the Proxon and get these cut. It's been a while since I've used this, I can tell you. Hopefully, I can remember how to do it successfully. So we're just going to come along. It doesn't actually matter too much if it's not completely following the line along the edge. What matters is that it's roughly the correct depth at the ends. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut all these shapes out like this, and then I'll come along with my handheld hot wire cutter, shape them down a little bit, work out where we're going to put one or two of these tunnels, and then it will be a case of actually doing the texture and the finishing, which is what I'm most looking forward to. Right, that's the first one done. I'm going to cut everything else out and I'll bring you along for the next step when I get to it. Right, so Angela managed to find me some ribbon. So what I'm going to do with this ribbon is I'm going to replace these two ties with the ribbon. So first of all, I'm going to need to cut them in half, like so. Oh, there we are. And then what I need to do is take this out. Now, I have tied a knot in each end, so I think I can undo the knot to remove it, and then what I'll do is I'll feed that through, knot it so that it can not come out, and then yeah, I might actually end up replacing the tie on this side as well, which I did 2 knots in, if you remember, and it's a bit loose, so I might be able to use some of this cord here to replace that and have only 1 knot, and then I think that'll be done. Rosie does love it. She's played with it several times, and yeah, so I'm going to get this put in place now. I'll turn the camera back on and show you what it looks like when it's done. Well, there we are. As you can see, that ties back fine, and as you can also see, what I've had to do is actually tie it around because it just is a bit thin. Couldn't get a big enough knot to stop it pulling through the hole, but that's going to work fine. So there we are. That is now complete, and I look forward to Rosie doing many shows to us in her awesome puppet theatre, and I might film a few and show them to you, but we shall see. Anyway, I think we'll call that one a wrap. Oh, I have just put these 2 outer rocket launchers on, and that is the final piece, and that was very fiddly and annoying. But yeah, so now can get ready for painting. I do still need to put the cockpit back on, and I have decided I'm not going to readjust it. I'm just going to glue that back on using PVA again, get it stuck in. But yeah, so I've pretty much enjoyed this build. It's been a bit annoying at times, been a bit fiddly at times. I still have the that's broken off at the front, so it's not perfect, but it's going to be fine on the diorama, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting it painted and see what it looks like. I am wondering whether I should have painted it before I put the stores on, but they aren't all that well glued on, so if it does get annoying, then I can peel them off quite easily, get it painted and put them back on again later. So if need be, I'll do that. But I'll bring you along for the painting process a little bit. First of all, we'll be priming it, so once that's done, I'll probably bring you along then. Well, I've started priming the AV10, I've done the underside. Tomorrow I'll turn that over, glue the cockpit back on, and then prime the other side. So it's going okay at the moment with the stores on. This is only the first coat of primer. I'm going to do another coat to smooth out those lines. I do use a brush, which does mean I need to do 2 thin coats. But yeah, it's going alright, pretty happy. So yeah, I'll finish off that priming tomorrow probably. I've finally finished painting up my Goblin King throwing Goblin. Pretty happy with how he's turned out. I went with my technique of lots of washes of lots of really odd different colours to get a really varied skin tone, which I'm really pleased with. And yeah, happy to get that done. Sat on my painting bench for about 6 months not being touched, but yeah, it's done. It's another miniature off the list, and another win really, because yeah, I haven't painted properly for ages. I got sick again, so I had another 2 weeks off, so it's nice to get back down to my painting bench again and get that done. Well, I got the first coat onto the station. Pretty pleased with it. Went for 2 different colours for the walls. I need to do the white again, and need to I've slipped a little bit, as you can see, when I've been repainting the grey on that roof on the front there. But yeah, it's looking well. I brought it up so that I can actually start looking at doing the inner. So I'm going to find some card. I'm going to cut the card to the exact size of the inside, and then I will mark out and measure where I want to have some walls. What I'm going to do basically is at this side, I'm going to put a wall across. So this is going to be, I'll probably make one of these a little office. So I'll probably put a wall across here, from here to here, straight over, and then have that door there so that people can, so that the staff can come in and out, and then have a little corner office in here. I think that's the plan. So that's where the and then the rest of it I'll do as a waiting room. So yeah, I'll get that done and take it down and do the next coat to finish up the painting, and then I'll be making the inner while I'm working on that. Well, there we are. It actually turned out to be a slightly longer video than I expected, though obviously 5 minutes of that was chattering with Steve last weekend. That's the reason why there's no game with myself, Angela and Rosie, because I was away all last weekend. However, very shortly after I finish editing this, we're going to go downstairs and we're going to play the game, so that will be back next week. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As I said in the intro, that means a real lot to me, so do say hello. It is awesome when people do comment. And if you don't, then that's fine. But yeah, that is the best thing for me. Watching is awesome as well. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I'll wrap up by saying, as I always do at the moment, really horrendous that the war is still going on. And if any of you are impacted directly or indirectly by that horrific war in Ukraine, and I mean, I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep saying this because now we've got Israel as well. I mean, it's just horrendous. The world is exploding. So yeah, so just heart goes out to anyone impacted by those horrific wars. Just terrible times. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.